Hello. We are going to today talk about our research questions. This is a very exciting part of the project for me because I feel like for a lot of students, this is where they really feel like much more comfortable. You have married your topic. You have read a little bit about your topic and did your annotation. So you're kind of becoming an expert on your topic. And now we're really going to structure the paper. And the way we do that is to write 3 focused research questions. And what I love about this design is that if each of those questions takes roughly 2 pages to answer, you've written a 6-page paper. So this is a really wonderful tool, I think, for anybody who's a little bit nervous about how to take all of this crazy information and kind of put it together into a good, logical, strong research paper. So the key to writing these focused research questions is making sure that they are open questions. So let's take a look at exactly what we mean by that. So we've got open questions and closed questions, and we're going to need both eventually. But for today, we want to focus on open questions. So closed questions are going to be ones where there's sort of a short answer. Maybe it's the definition of your paper topic, like what defines obesity, or what is distracted driving. It could be a number. It could be anything that is a question that's able to be answered well in a sentence or 2, maybe even a really short paragraph. All of those would be considered closed questions. Open questions they need much more investigation. They need to have, they may have multiple parts. Those are the ones that we want to write today. So let's take a look at some of them. How many people are currently homeless in the United States? So how many is asking for a number, right? A statistic. This is pretty easy to answer in maybe a couple of sentences. You could say, so such and such number of people are homeless across the entire United States, but it tends to happen more in warmer climates or something like that. Kind of a short answer. This is closed. What factors contribute to homelessness in the United States? Now, that factors, that plural there, is awesome because we could talk about 2. We could talk about 3, 4, 5, right? This is something that's going to take some time to explore. This is an awesome open question. What is the penalty for animal abuse in Erie County? Is singular. That's my clue that this is a closed question, right? Even if it took 2 or 3 sentences to explain, I'm basically going to state, what is that penalty and move on. Very short, closed answer. How do the side effects of chemotherapy impact patients' lives? Again, I've got that plural there, effects. I could talk about 2 or 3 or 4 of these, take up some nice space, really delve into how these people's lives are impacted. That's a great open question. All right, sometimes we start with something kind of closed, like what is vegetarianism, right? That requires a definition, maybe a sentence or 2. If we start there and we could just grow it a little bit, and Mrs. Ocasio and I find this all the time, right? Obviously, if you're going to write a paper about vegetarianism, you need to define what it is. But if we want to start our paper, we need to grow that a little bit. And so we can just put in and keep going. What is vegetarianism, and what are several reasons why people might choose to eat that way? This would be a great open question, right? It's nice and long. I could stretch that answer out to about 2 pages. Or you can go for plurals, right? Instead of saying what is a benefit to a vegetarian diet, you can put that plural there. What are benefits to a vegetarian diet? That gives you room to explore and something to write about. Now, not only is the question itself really important, but the order is very important. We only need 3 questions, but we want to basically begin at the beginning. So for most people, this is very, very common paper construction for most topics. At the beginning, we want to have something about what it is, right? What is it? And if we look back to our last example there. What is vegetarianism and what are several reasons why people might choose to eat that way? So we kind of define what it is that we're talking about. The middle question is often about who cares? Why should we care? Why is this a social issue? How does it affect people? And for some of you, this might be how does it affect animals, right? Or the environment. So, but even those are arguably affecting people. So this is the part where this is like the meat of our paper, the middle of our paper, where we really build sort of the argument about why this is an important topic to talk about. So we start with what it is. Why should we care? Basically, question 2. And then at the end, what are we going to do about it? How can this be helped? Right? As Mrs. Ocasio often says, how could we eliminate or alleviate this problem? And maybe you could even go into who's doing that work. What are some agencies? What are some entities? What are some different therapies that people are trying, right? How is this help? How can this social issue be helped? So if you look at this, obviously it would not make very much sense to start out with all the solutions because we haven't yet delved into what it is we're talking about. So the order here is very, very important. And this is often something that we do as we're revising these. It's just rearranging for people. So I'm just encouraging you as best as possible to be thoughtful about the order, what it is, why do we care, what are we going to do about it? Here is a list of some terms that will help you to make sure that you have an open question. So if you were to insert some of these terms into your questions, you will more likely end up with an open question. So using words like factors, impact, causes, in what way. For some of the topics, symptoms, treatment options, right? Those might be appropriate. Examples, several factors, reasons. These are not the only things, but those plurals will give us the space to talk about our topic a little bit. So remember, at the beginning, if you have, just like what it is, grow that a little bit, introduce us to it, and then really dig into how people are impacted, and then how can we help that. All right, good luck.